Hello, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. Well, we've come to Thursday in Holy Week, and it's called in church language Maundy Thursday. It's a day where the concentration and the focus and the devotion is on a story about Jesus washing his disciples' feet. The story is recounted in the Gospel of John, the 13th chapter. Now, John is one of those present. And I love the way the story is recounted. If you're reading it in a modern English Bible, it'll talk about how Jesus went and he stripped off his clothes, which means it's plural. So he took off everything except his loincloth. That means Jesus dressed like a slave and was wearing a slave's garb. And he took a towel and he wrapped it around his waist and he started washing the feet of the disciples. And while he's doing that, verse 8 says that Peter said to him, "You'll never wash my feet." And Jesus answered him and said, "If I don't wash you, you don't have any share with me." Now that's significant in and of itself. But before we get to the significance of that, I've got to tell you a nugget of the Greek grammar that you might miss reading the English. It's really just mind-blowing in a way. See, we read this story, and John, as we read this story, talks about what Jesus did. You know, it says that he came to Simon Peter and he used a towel and he took off his clothes and all of this reads like stuff he did in the past, which clearly he did when John wrote the gospel. But if you were reading it in Greek, John's using over and over present tense verbs. So you read it in the Greek and it's reading that Jesus is doing these things, not that he did them. And that's just a Greek language concept, not that different than the English. It's considered a historical present. It means we're talking about it using present language, even though it's clearly something that happened historically. And the reason that's done is what's important. The reason that's done is it makes the story more vivid. It's a vivid tense. In other words, instead of me saying, I got up this morning, I ate my breakfast, I got myself dressed, I went to work. Instead, if I want to make it vivid, I could speak of those things in the present tense. I get up and I eat my breakfast and I get myself ready for work, and then boom, I drive down the freeway. There's a car, it cuts me off. I decide I'm going to be Christian because I got to videotape my thought for the day. So I let the car do it. But inside me, I'm thinking I could take that car. See, it's the vivid use of the present tense to speak of something that happened earlier. So that's what we've got here. These events had seared into the brain of John, so that decades later, he's able to write these events. Now we get to the story where Jesus is washing the feet of the disciples. And Peter boldly says, "Hey, no washing my feet. Don't come. You're the master. You don't put on the garment of a slave and do what a slave would do for me." Now, first of all, Peter misses the punch of Jesus's ministry. Jesus never came to be served. He came to serve us. Jesus never came to be blessed. He came to bless us. This is who Jesus is. This is who God is. God's not sitting around waiting for us to fall around him and declare his majesty so he feels good about it. He already is totally satisfied in who he is, whether we acknowledge it or not. Our acknowledging God is what we need to do for us to be who we can be by being authentic and real and genuine and recognizing he is God and we're not. So Jesus came to bless. He came to serve. He's rightfully there. But the second thing I want you to notice is Jesus takes it out of the realm of physically washing feet. Because he says to Peter, unless I wash you. I mean, that's pretty blunt. Unless I wash you, not your feet. Unless I wash you, you don't have any share with me. See, we are, and John makes it clear because Jesus points out the cleanness of the apostles, save for Judas, who's unclean. Jesus is not talking there about his need to wash our feet from grimy soil or our bodies from grimy day-to-day living. Jesus is talking about the moral need we have to be washed by him. That's what's being symbolized here, even beyond his service. Jesus morally cleanses us and washes us, and if he doesn't wash us, we don't have any share with him. Impure, dirty Mark Lanier doesn't walk with holy God unless Mark has been washed. Think about that today. It's Maundy, Thursday. We'll talk about the crucifixion tomorrow on Good Friday. God bless you.